Hey guys, welcome to my first ever YouTube video. I know that most of you probably came from my TikTok, but for those who don't, I'm happy you found this video. I think TikTok's getting banned, so I'm gonna move on over to YouTube. I love YouTube, so I wanted to make this transition anyways. And I want to make a lot of cool long form content for you guys. I have a lot of fun ideas that include traveling, maybe to some haunted locations, maybe to the last blockbuster that's left. So yeah, I thought we could do a lot more just beyond what I make on TikTok. So I think YouTube is a good platform for that. So look forward to more movie reviews, more movie analysis, recommendations, some travel content, maybe some baking content, pretty much everything that's like movie, fun, lifestyle, commentary, all that sort of stuff. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe and like this video. Let's get into it. So today I thought I would do my top 5 most underrated horror movies. So I love horror movies. As you can tell, I have a whole spread back here. This is my horror movie collage. I am a longtime horror movie fan. I think the first horror movie I ever saw was Chucky when I was like 5, and I watched it while I was peeping behind the couch. My parents obviously did not know I was watching it, but that sparked a lifetime obsession with all things spooky. So here we are, about to give you some top 5 most underrated horror gems. So my first movie is a Taiwanese found footage film, and this film is called Incantation. I love this film because it is so underrated, and I don't know very many people that have seen it, but this film deserves all its credits. It is so good, so scary. So just to give you a brief synopsis, it is about a younger mom who has a little girl, and the little girl starts acting very, very strange, and her behavior is very off, and her mom starts to wonder what's going on. So the mom actually didn't have custody of the daughter for a while, and it wasn't until the mom brought the daughter home that the daughter starts acting crazy, like Paranormal Activity level crazy, and she's just kind of concerned and confused. And then you start to dig a little deeper, no spoilers, don't worry, but you start to dig a little deeper and you find out that the mom did something that is absolutely horrifying, something I would literally never do. So she does that, and there's some cursed vibes. So this movie is absolutely terrifying because you'll watch it and think you've been cursed. This is so dramatic, but I literally was covering my ears while watching this because there are a lot of incantations that are said during the movie, and I'm a superstitious girl. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm the first person to throw salt over my shoulder. So I didn't want to be cursed or anything. So I decided I'm just gonna plug my ears. But yeah, this movie is really, really well done, really well acted. The found footage is not overly shaky or gross because I get motion sickness and I can't watch a lot of found footage films. But this one, perfect. I loved it. It's great, super underrated. You guys gotta watch it. So my second film, I don't know if this is necessarily underrated, but I haven't heard anyone talk about this in like 10 years. So this film is Drag Me to Hell. This is a classic. So to give you a brief synopsis, this movie is about a banker, and she is a younger woman in her mid-20s, and she's trying really hard to get a promotion at the bank she works at. So she's like, okay, I'm not going to give as many loans as I normally do. And there's this older woman who comes in who is just desperate for a loan, like begging and pleading on her hands and knees. And the woman decides that she's not going to give out the loan. That ends up with some also cursed vibes. I guess there's a lot of curses in this underrated horror gems video, but she ends up getting cursed and she has to do a lot to try to get rid of the curse. And it's honestly a really freaky movie. It's like a weird combination of paranormal, but it also has a lot of like gory elements. I don't know. I think that it kind of combines all the horror subgenres together to create something really awesome and exciting to watch. So if you haven't seen this one, check it out. A little cheesy on the CGI effects because this was like forever ago, like mid-2000s. I feel old saying that. But yeah, that was a while ago, but it still holds up really well to this day, so I would still highly recommend it. Next up, we have a Paranormal Activity movie. This is the most recent one of the bunch. I've seen all of them. I actually really like this series. I know that it gets kind of a bad reputation because found footage is either hit or miss. But this movie is the Paranormal Activity Next of Kin. And this movie is about a woman who is trying to trace back her history, specifically her family history with her mom, because she doesn't know anything about her mom. She was adopted and she wasn't raised by her mom, so she goes to an Amish community. And at first, they seem very, very polite, very kind, and then stuff starts to go completely weird and strange and very culty. This movie scared the crap out of me. I am not gonna lie to you guys. I absolutely love horror movies. I don't really get scared at this point, but I screamed a couple times. So I would highly recommend it just for the scare factor aspect, and also just because the visuals are really cool. Honestly, the found footage is way better than some of the other Paranormal Activity movies. I think that this one is really, really well done. And if you like a lot of very like scary rural type of things where you're in the middle of nowhere and there's a lot of like paranoia involved, I think you'll really like this one. I think that this is one of the most underrated Paranormal Activity movies, and I gotta say, I think is the best one out of the entire series. And I really love the series, so if you want one that's really, really good, I would highly recommend that one. Next up, we have a movie that I will literally never shut up about because I love it. It's like probably in my top 10 favorite movies. And this movie is called Vacancy. It stars Luke Wilson, and I love Luke Wilson for really no reason at all. I just really like his acting. And this movie is about a divorced couple who go on a road trip. And of course, they're kind of fighting. They have a lot of tension. Their son passed away. So there's just a weird dynamic between the two of them. And unfortunately, they have car troubles, classic horror movie trope. They end up at a sketchy motel and find some hidden cameras. I'm not going to spoil the rest of that because this movie gets absolutely insane and so unexpected. This movie might be the most underrated horror movie of all time because I showed this to at least 10 different people and every single one of them fell in love with it. It is so creepy on so many different levels. It kind of combines a lot of people's biggest fears, especially as a woman. Being trapped in a sketchy motel like that is by far my biggest fear ever. I don't really trust rest stops. I don't trust any of those type of weird like side of the road stay a night and here's this creepy guy to check you in. Like, I don't trust any of that. So yeah, this one's really, really scary. It has some great acting. It honestly has some pretty good character development for both the characters. I think it's just overall really well done horror movie. So highly recommend if you watch any of these on this list, please watch this one. This one's so good. Next up, we have a movie that a lot of people thought would be bad, but it's not, I promise. It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie, which usually that makes people go, oh God, is this movie gonna suck? And the answer is no, it does not suck. This movie is called The Visit, and this is a horror movie about two kids who spend a couple of weeks with their grandparents. Their mom goes on this cruise. They have very limited contact with their mom. And at first the grandparents are nice. They've never met their grandparents before, so it's kind of a whole new thing for them. And then the grandparents start being very mischievous and the kids are not sure what's going on. And there's a big plot twist, as always with Shyamalan. He is the king of plot twists, whether they're good or bad. This one, really, really good. Won't spoil it for you guys. But this movie is really, really creepy. These old people are scary. Like, some of the crawling scenes, there's a lot of just weird vibes going on. It reminds me of The Taking of Deborah Logan, that horror movie. If you really like that one, you'll probably like The Visit. But one thing I really like about The Visit is it has a lot of comedic elements. So you'll be really scared one moment and then you'll laugh about it the next. So I think it's a good combination of the two. I think this movie's highly underrated, and I think it probably just didn't get a lot of views or a lot of traction because people were expecting it to be bad, but nope, I give this one 2 thumbs up. I think that this movie is honestly, if I were to rate it out of 10, I think I would give it like an 8.5, so it's pretty high on my list. Those are my top 5 underrated horror gems. I hope you guys enjoy watching these. I hope you check them out. If you check them out, come back and let me know in the comments what you think, because I always love hearing your guys' opinions. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to make lots and lots of videos. I hope you guys like this channel, and I hope you keep checking it out because I love making content. It's something I'm very passionate about, and I want to make you guys some interesting stuff. So yeah, stay tuned and watch these movies. Highly recommend.